The breakdown of some of what parents can expect. Good morning, Brian.
Good morning, Jordan and Lisa. Right now it's still pretty quiet, but like you guys just said, about an hour or so, you're going to see lines of cars that are going to be lined up to, let their students get dropped off to school. Now, one thing I can tell you is that it's interesting this year because they've been out of school since March. This is the first time that they're going to be having classes since then. That's literally almost 6 months that they have not been in school. They're still not completely normal because they're going to be starting in a hybrid model, which means they're only going to be in school a few days a week. Now, to break it down even further for you guys, Fargo has 23 schools. That is 16 elementary schools, 3 middle schools, and 3 high schools. I'm literally just at one of the elementary schools. Now, if you think about that, each school has a different layout, parking, when it comes to rules, their classroom settings can even be different. So it lets you know what to expect when it comes to their layouts this morning. Each school is going to have it to where you still can't wear you have to wear face masks, that is, when you go through hallways, classrooms, when you're entering the school, when you're exiting the school. Those are the things that schools have the same. But when it comes to everything that's different, they made it easier because they sent letters home to parents to break down what each of their schools is going to do to make it a little easier. So if you're going to one school versus the other school, there are different sets of rules, so to make it a little easier for you. Now, one thing I can tell you is that, me, myself being in school, the highlight of my day was always my mom dropped me off to school and letting me know hey, love you, say bye to you, give you a big hug. And kids aren't going to be able to do that when they walk in. Their parents can't come with them to the classroom, so all of that's going to have to be done before they go into the school. I know that might be nerve-wracking for some kids, but I definitely just say recommending maybe give them that talk and just let them know, hey, it's going to be okay, it's going to be a good first day. And I recommend maybe talking to them about it when you guys get out of it. But I say, as long as you're keeping safety and social distancing in play, everything should be fine.
All of your classmates are in the same boat too. No one's mom or dad gets to go into the building, so probably harder on mom and dad than the kids.
Yep,
So.
and we are all learning today. So let's
Yep.
remember, even if the cars pile up in that drop-off lane, we all give each other a little grace and we treat each other with a little bit of kindness because
Great
everyone's
reminder.
stressed out. But walking into school with an all-new system and rules, it can feel overwhelming as we try to remember it all. Fargo Superintendent Rupak Gandhi says to keep it simple and start with what you already know. That's a good breakfast.
Secondly, prepare for the uncertain, giving yourself extra time for questions or unplanned hiccups. And before you walk out the door, Gandhi says the most important part of your back-to-school outfit is your mask. Also, make sure you review specific instructions from your school's principal, just like we heard from Brian's live report, like where to enter the school building.
And lastly, Dr. Gandhi says the thing that might throw families off the most is remembering to keep your distance. His last bit of advice is don't be nervous. Everybody is experiencing the same thing, and we are all in this together.
So let's get that back-to-school forecast. We check in now with meteorologist Lisa Green.
Good morning. I've got some great weather for that first day of school for Fargo students. And those of us who maybe started last week continuing our school year here, we're looking at some great weather to be out at the bus stop. You can see the sun just now up in Fargo and that orange glow on the horizon there here to start off our day today, meaning, of course, that we have clear skies and we'll get to keep that sun around for the day. So Fargo 52 degrees, sunny skies. Grand Forks 52. It's a cooler 48 in Fergus Falls. Jamestown, sun not quite up there yet, a little farther west, just about to rise. And Bemidji's at 50 degrees. So here's a look at our radar and satellite map. Nice and quiet. I do want to point out, though, I'm just going to zoom out here really quick. We've got another system poised to affect us. You can see it over in Saskatchewan and Alberta. That's going to drop to the south and east, and that will affect us later today. Until then, it's gorgeous. We've got some conditions that are quiet here this morning. Temperatures, again, that are a little cool. You'll need that jacket to head out to the bus stop, but you won't want it this afternoon with the warmer temperatures coming our way in the Southern Valley. Wind advisory. Now, this is for our counties in the southwest and south. I do think more counties will be added to this today, but this starts at 3 o'clock this afternoon and continues to midnight. Overnight, we'll continue to see some pretty strong winds. We could have some gusts to 50 associated with the system moving in, and of course the rain and thunder that we'll see too. Until then, the school day looks great. This morning, again, starting with some temperatures in the low 50s in Fargo, mostly sunny skies. This afternoon, heading home from the bus, we have some warm temperatures. Now, this is for the Southern Valley specifically. We're going to see some 70s to around 80 degrees. The wind will start to get a little breezy heading home from school. Up north, north, it's going to be a little cooler for you, upper 60s to some 70s for you for today. Here's a look at your 7-day planner. Once this system blasts through overnight, we're looking at still some wind tomorrow and a big change in temperatures. We're talking some 60s for highs tomorrow, and that up and down forecast continues heading into the weekend. We go up for Saturday. Looks like a beautiful day, but the rest of the holiday weekend really cooling down, and we start off the week next week with some of our coldest temperatures yet this season.
Okay, hopefully you had some sweaters and jean jackets on your back to school clothing shopping list. It definitely feels like back to school. And Fargo police have some back to school safety reminders and conversation starters for you, even if this isn't your child's first year at school. Maybe you can start talking about this at breakfast this morning. If your child takes a bus to school, remind them to stay 5 steps away from the curb, wait for the bus to come to a complete stop, and for the driver to signal you to come on board. Face forward in your seat, and when you exit the bus, look left, right, left before you cross the street.
And if your son or daughter is taking a bike to school, make sure they have a helmet that fits and they ride in the same direction as traffic and follow the traffic signs and signals, and to stay in that bike lane whenever possible, and never use their cell phone while they're riding the bike. Now, for kids walking to school, use the sidewalk whenever possible, and if there isn't a sidewalk, walk on the edge of the street facing traffic. Use marked crosswalks, and again, look left, right, left for vehicles or bikes before crossing.
Make sure to never play, push, or shove others when you walk around traffic, and watch the road, not your cell phone. There's also after-school safety to remember. If your child has a cell phone, make sure they have it on them at all times so you can reach them, and so that they can easily call 911 in case of an emergency.
For the kids at home, perhaps unsupervised after school, make sure they lock the door behind them right away and never let anyone in the house or open the door for anyone. If you have an alarm, your student should arm the security system right after they lock the door behind them. Now, you can review these tips online. We found them on the Fargo Police Department's Facebook page.
The University of North Dakota is trying to squash rumors about coronavirus cases on campus. During a virtual student town hall yesterday, school leaders said they do not plan on transitioning all classes to remote learning, and they say the high cases of COVID-19 did not come from parties at Greek houses.
Currently, UND has more than 200 active cases of coronavirus. The university says students should stay on campus this holiday weekend and not go home. Some students expressed concern with enforcement.
The university is doing a good job. Then in certain areas, more could be done.
When there's violations that relate to COVID that hit that code of student life, we will pursue those. We'll pursue them aggressively and fairly.
UND administrators say they plan to hold a testing event every week this semester, or at least until a vaccine is available.
A UND business student is getting the chance of a lifetime today. He is ringing the closing bell for the NASDAQ stock exchange this afternoon. Pearson Painter got the opportunity after winning the Red River Valley Business Plan competition last spring.
And you guessed it, he'll be ringing the bell remotely because of the pandemic. The event will also include some major exposure for UND in Times Square. The school's logo and video message will be featured on the giant, iconic billboards on the NASDAQ Tower and NASDAQ Marquee, the most famous crossroads in the world.
A South Dakota woman is now facing DUI and child endangerment charges after police say they found her and her baby on a train bridge over the Missouri River. Burlington Northern Railroad workers called police in Mobridge when they found a vehicle on the tracks Sunday around 7 in the morning. Officers say the 30-year-old woman told them that she had passed out in the back of the car. That baby was handed over to family members.
The convenience store that seems to be everywhere is now adding curbside pickup. Casey's says it's offering customers an easy way to shop while staying COVID safe. So here's how it works. Order online or with an app, then Casey's employees will load your car for you. Best part, the service is free.
The city of Fargo is working with Ryan Companies on a project in North Fargo that reportedly involves Amazon. KFGO is reporting that Ryan Companies is known for projects across the U.S., including an Amazon center in Arizona. Now, that project is planned in an industrial building just north of the Hector Airport. More help is now on the way for people who lost their jobs because of COVID-19. People in North Dakota who collect unemployment benefits will see an extra $300 a week for 3 weeks.
In order to be eligible, you had to have lost your job during the pandemic, and your weekly benefit amount is at least $100. The payments will be made retroactively for people who were eligible during the weeks ending on August 1st, the 8th, and the 15th. It's expected to be distributed in just a couple of weeks. NDSU is clarifying rules for fans attending the October 3rd football game. Only 10,000 people will be allowed to attend. All season ticket holders, whether they would like to attend the game or not, are asked to complete a survey by Friday afternoon at 4. You can find a link at valleynewslive.com.
Face masks will be required to get into the dome, and they must be worn throughout the game. Tailgating is not allowed, and recreational vehicles, buses, and trailers, they won't be allowed in the parking lots either. Now, game day procedures have been developed in a collaboration between the Fargo Dome, the City of Fargo, the Fargo Cass Public Health, and North Dakota State University. For more information on that, you can find this on the VNL News app. And also, we said a little earlier, the Bison, they're taken back to the field now after being in the weight room. So gearing up.
Nice to see things getting back to normal a little bit. Let's get our answer now to our question of the morning on Facebook. I should have given this clue earlier because this is school related. Ooh, that's a good one. Do you know what I'm talking about now? Nearly 3 billion of these are created each year.
I was going to guess pencils, and I didn't, but the answer this morning, it's crayons, color crayons.
Everyone needs a new box of crayons before they go back to elementary school.
Yep, you just got to have those nice sharp tips so you can really color in the lines. But anyway, good luck to everyone heading back to school today. The Today Show and CBS This Morning just about to start, but the Valley Today rolls on right now on the Fargo CW.